Hey, you guys, this is Stephanie Richardson, and I've got a really unpopular topic today, and that is how peace and love can turn you into an asshole. I just said it. Peace and love can turn you into an asshole, mainly towards yourself. Now, what do I even mean? Peace and love are supposed to be great. Peace and love are supposed to lead us to the promised land. Peace and love are supposed to save the world. It's supposed to be a higher vibration. It's supposed to be. If you'll notice, there's a lot of supposed to be all up in there. And anytime we've got supposed to, if you find that creeps up into your language at all, it's supposed to be or should be, or if there's an ideal in there somewhere, what you may find is that those are really sneaky places that we use to judge ourselves. So if you may notice that I have a lot of I've got a lot of intense energy, right? What I've found over time is that that when people are doing the peace and love thing from the ideal of what it should be, one of the things that I've noticed is whenever I get excited like this, they'll give me the tamp down. They'll be like, calm it down, quieten your voice. Well, is that actually going, wow, how can you use that energy to create your life? How can you use that energy to change any of the limitations that are in your life, or change the world, or have more fun? That's actually asking how you can use who you are and the energy that you have to your advantage and to the advantage of the world. That can actually create, on a larger scale, the peace I think that we're actually looking for, which is where we get to just be us and we get to have a world that has no war, no judgment, all of that kind of stuff. But can we get there if we're trying to calm people down all the time? Or is this actually part of the generative energy of living? Sometimes when we're talking about peace and love, are we actually talking about taking the energy of thriving and living and calming it down just a little bit so it feels more like what we think peace should feel like? But if you get a sense of what the earth is and what the earth does that always match our idea of what peace is? Or does sometimes it's got eruptions, and sometimes it shakes a lot, and sometimes it's thunderstorms and lightnings and fires take place, and fires burn down entire forests? But sometimes whenever fires burn down entire forests, what happens is that an entire new forest gets planted. When something erupts, the volcanic ash that lays down actually nourishes the plants that come afterwards. All these different things that if they were a person, we would think, maybe you should be more peaceful, maybe you should be more loving, maybe you should be more kind. If we did that to the earth, would we have the nourishing generative energies that seem destructive at first? No, we wouldn't. We'd be like, earth, calm it down just a little bit. Calm it down. But if you see the sun, the nurturing generative energy of the sun, it is an explosive ball of flaming mess, right? And yet it allows for life on planet Earth. So what if we decided peace and love is that actually just turns us into a judgmental asshole, mainly of our own selves, that we're not living up to whatever that idea of peace is or that idea of love is that we have. If you wake up in the morning and you're feeling all fiery, like literally you could breathe fire and like burn your own eyebrows off, if you're feeling that level of potency, what if instead of asking how you can match more of the idea and ideal of what peace and love should look like, what if you actually ask, man, this is a lot of energy. How can I use this to create the life that I would really like to have? How can I use this energy towards creation of something that I would like to create? How can I use this to change the limitations that may still be holding me back? How can I use this to generate and create the life that I have not even imagined was possible yet? Because this is a heck of a lot of energy. And even though right now I'm just perceiving it as grumpiness, how the fuck can I use this? And yeah, I mean, when you're in that mood, you might curse a little bit. What if that was cool, right? So just as a little side note, in case you're like, yeah, I don't know about that, I have a really funny story, and then I'll wrap it up. So a while back, I got a HeartMath monitor. Now, a HeartMath monitor is this little piece of equipment that tells when you're in what they call coherence, which is when the energy of your heart basically is, the energy of all of you is in alignment with the energy of your heart. Okay, that the energetic fields are actually in alignment, and there's less stress in your entire system. Okay, so it basically is when your system in your body, your energetic body, and your body, your physical body, are both in congruence, and there's less friction there. So it's actually functioning with ease. Okay, so I stopped using it right after I got it. I really was more just curious how the whole thing worked. But once I'd been doing some access for a little while, I decided that it would be fun to take it on a little excursion. And instead of meditating and trying to get into coherence, I would walk around with it for a day and see when I actually naturally dropped into coherence. So I was on a walk with a friend and we were having this conversation, and I got sort of inspired, but she may have called it heated, a little bit like I'm talking with you now, right? This like enthusiasm, and I was really kind of on a roll. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear the sound of what coherence is on the HeartMath monitor. So I'm what some people may call fired up, or they wanted, I could even feel her kind of going, Stephanie, calm down. And in that very moment, that was when I'm naturally in a state of ease and in a state of coherence, where I'm not actually fighting anything. I'm actually closest to being in a meditative state. And to most people, it would have sounded like I was a little impassioned. So what if what we think is peace? What if we think is kindness towards ourselves and others? What if that so far has a lot of times been a judgment? And how can we use the energy that we actually have and be and are? How can we use that to create and generate? And what will it take for you to be aware of what that is for you, and never let anyone, even if it sounds really valid, that you should be more peaceful and more kind, because we all want more of that in the world. We all want more peace in the world. We all want more kindness in the world. But what if others' ideas of how we get there, if those don't work for you, if they do work for you, great, keep using them. If they're not working for you, and if your life hasn't changed to actually have more peace and kindness in it, then would you consider actually beginning to ask a different question? And that is, any question, basically. What is the life that I would actually like to create here? And how can I use the energy that I am? And how can I use this energy in whatever state that you're in, whether you're in grumpiness, whether you're in joy, whether you're in furiousness, whether you're anything that you have going on? What if you could use any of that energy to create? If we never judged what was good or what was bad or what was right or what was wrong, would all of it just be energy that we could use? And if we just used all the energy that we actually have available to us, no matter what that energy looks like, again, frustrated, angry, pissed off, happy, giggling, too loud, too quiet, all of that we've ever judged, if we could use all of that to create the life that we'd like to have, would that actually begin to create a world that we've actually been looking for? Sometimes things are the opposite of what they seem to be. So instead of trying to quiet your energy down or change it or change you, what if you actually, again, I'm just getting a little repetitive, but what if you can ask how you can use that energy, whatever that energy is, to create more of the life that you truly like to have? I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Mwah.